Exaggeration in anything I say. Excuse me, I'm talking. So just bear with me. So to start off, I'd like to say that without a doubt, I can say I know Jett better than anyone else in here that doesn't know Jett as good as I do. Because we met our 13-year-old year. It was baseball practice. Show up and I see a guy out there kind of getting ready for baseball. He's wearing a pink Tommy Hilfiger A shirt, cut off blue jeans, shirt's tucked in, and a big purple Lakers hat, knee-high socks, and his cleats. And he's getting ready. I'm thinking, where did this guy come from? But and also thinking like the last person I'm gonna warm up with is that dude. But being the nice guy I am, we warmed up, got loose, and ended up talking to him. Really cool guy. I never really bought into the pink Tommy Hilfiger stuff, but I love him. Anyway, we got played sports together. Became really good friends. Throughout season of practice, you kind of learned that Jett's a really good athlete. I don't know if you know this, girls, but Jett doesn't have first, second, or third gear. If he's playing sports, it's 120%. That's one of the things I love about him is when he does something, he hustles. And I'm not gonna get into all that, but no matter what he plays, he gives us all into it, and it's awesome. But anyway, going on in, so we playing sports. That's how we grew up together, became good friends, started hanging out, spending the night with each other. Anyway, one day in middle school, Jett, hanging out one day at the house, he's like, Scott, I got these girl issues in middle school, and not exactly those words, but I won't get into all the details. But he just came to me, I need some help with girls. And I was like, well, what is it, man? And first thing he said was, somebody hit the lights, I'm getting naked. I remember my mom sitting home immediately after that. Like we don't do that. But anyway, we invited him back over when he explained himself. I can't explain it. That's what he said. But anyway, I told him I'd help him out with the girls at school. So there was this one girl at school he kind of had his eye on. I told him, look, I'll date her first. Make sure bear with me. I'll date her first. Make sure she's a pretty good girl. And then I'll let you know something. So I won't say any names, but her first name was Athena. So I dated her for 2 days. Realized she was a pretty good girl. Said all yours, Jett. Hooked him up, played a little matchmaker, and he made it 4 days.
Yes.
Better than 2, I guess. But he made it 4 days, and ended up breaking up with her. So that was all good. Anyway, girl issues, whatever else. He come to me. We talked about it. We worked through it. Anyway, got to high school. All this is going on still, so there's a lot to it. It's hard to explain friendship in just 2 hours. I don't know how long we got. But playing baseball in high school, won some state championships, continued the girl issues, hung out with each other all the time. Just made memories and had these guys to join, to join all that with us. But eventually, we went to college, and Jett branched off to Southern Miss. And I went to Alabama. Of course, we had some other friends go, but he went over there, and I went to Alabama, and we were doing our own thing. And eventually, Jett came over because he wanted to play sports. And I don't know if you know, he's got his master's in
Sport pedagogy.
I was going to use the kinesthetics again. I blew it before. So he got his master's, but really the whole reason he came over was just to play flag football with me. And so he came over, and we ended up playing some sports and getting pretty intense. He was my roommate, grew close through that. But just as to let you know, though, we won a couple championships, softball, football. It was all good. And on a side note, Nick Saban did an interview with a local newspaper about how good our flag football team was. Pretty awesome. I'll leave it at that. If you got questions later, you can see me afterwards. But cool thing is, though, is Jett had all these, this girl issues, the pink Tommy Hilfiger, whatever else. But just throughout, getting to know him, I guess you can say he was kind of like we were working on him, I guess. And it's easy to say that now we got a success story, just where he came from, so where he's at now. So congrats, buddy. But also, I think Sarah should realize that she would have never met him if it wasn't for me. Because I went to Alabama. We played sports together our whole life, just a competitive nature. He came to play flag football. Ended up getting his master's, which he didn't really plan to at the time, but he fell in love with it. And obviously fell in love with Sarah, but that would never happen unless the Joke Show was at the University of Alabama. So pretty awesome in that. But I'm going to say this, like I said, Jett's 120%. In everything he does, which is great to say he's a great guy. But any of these guys over here, I can say all this the same or just the same. But I'd be more than happy to call any of them brothers. We're a close knit group. But in saying that, if Jett is 50% of the brother, or 50% of the husband, and he is a good brother, you're going to have a great marriage. But that's not Jett. He's going to give you 120%. So God bless both of y'all, and you're going to have an awesome wedding.